Took a bills out, wrote the manifesto. Young hot boy straight from the ghetto. Young scarecrow, dying with a wind blood. Popped up, motherfucker robbing with my Enzo, yeah. Southside superstar, wanna ride in it.
Alright guys, today I'm going to be installing energy quick release setup. Got it from a friend of mine, crashed his car, doesn't need it anymore, so basically I'm going to show you guys. If you don't know, which I'm pretty sure most of you will know, how to pull off a steering wheel, put a quick release setup. But what you're going to do first is you're going to take out all these Allen keys. So I'll come back as soon as I got all those up. Alright, and this is basically what you should be looking at once you get everything unbolted. If you already have a aftermarket wheel with an eBay hub, that's pretty much what you should be looking at. That's what it should look like. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. You're going to pop off the quick release setup. You pop that off. This you're going to put to the side because this is later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all these off and sandwich the steering wheel in between this and this. And I'll be right back as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, and this is what you should be looking at when you have the quick release mounted to the steering wheel. For anybody who, like I said, never did one of these before, that's basically what it looks like. So now I'm going to pull this bolt off right here. I'm going to make sure it's centered and the steering wheel straight. And then I'm going to pull these Allen keys off and bolt this short hub onto there. And I'll show you what that's like in a second. Alright guys, the size for basically all the Hondas is a 19mm. I always use a deep 19. And basically all you got to do is your trusty breaker bar, put it on there, and then you take it off. Alright, for some reason my steering lock is not locking, so I'm just going to do it with the impact. Alright, this could also happen that if you take the nut all the way off, and as you see the nut's basically off, and it's on there real tight, usually you can bolt the steering wheel back on here, kind of wiggle it back and forth, you know what I mean, like this way, this way, this way, and it'll come loose. If not, which I'm not going to use this anymore, this is pretty much just trash, I'm just going to beat the hell out of it with a hammer until it comes off. So I'll get back to you guys as soon as I actually get this thing off. Okay, so after beating on this thing for a good while and, you know, whacking the hell out of it, it's not going to come loose. So basically, I'm going to go get my puller tool and put it together, and hopefully there's enough on the back of this so it'll, basically it's like a claw that hooks onto the back, and there's a piece that goes right here in the center, and you tighten that piece in the center. So basically when you're tightening that piece in the center, you're pulling this outwards, and it's pushing on this so that basically it's not going to ruin anything. It slowly pulls it out and pulls it loose. So I'm going to go grab that, and hopefully it's all in one piece so I can get this off, get the rest of this on. So I'll be right back with you guys the minute I find everything I need to get this off. If I can't find the puller or anything like that, I'm just going to get a bigger hammer, and we're going to get this shit off one way or another. I don't care if I have to get a sledgehammer or axe or something. I just, you know, want to burn this car to the ground. But I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I went ahead and I got this pulled off. I beat the hell out of it and beat the hell out of it and beat the hell out of it, and it did not want to come off. Usually when I put a new hub on, I'll put a little bit of grease on some of those teeth in there, so then it doesn't basically seize itself on. You can't really see in there, but you can see how it's like kind of corroded. So basically it corrodes itself on, so it's basically stuck the hell on there. Plus you're tightening the bolt as tight as you possibly can, because you know this is your steering wheel hub. You don't want this to come off, and you know, because that would be pretty bad. But basically this is the puller I was talking about, for anybody who's Never seen one. Usually they have 3 hooks on it. We are broke boy status over here, so we got one with 2. Basically, this part goes right here in the center, and these you'll hook on the back just like that on each side. And when that's hooked on there like that, you will tighten this right here, and what that'll do is that'll push on the stud and it'll pull the hub itself. You could use this for steering wheels. You could use it for, what else can you use this shit for? Crank pulleys, alternator pulleys, power steering pulleys, you know what I mean, and pretty much anything. You can rent them from AutoZone, you could buy them from Harbor Freight, pretty much anywhere. This one's kind of beat up and it's got the wrong bolts in it. I just threw them in there just so I could use it real quick, and it worked wonders. So, got this off junk. I got the new NRG short hub, I got that bolted on. Now all I got to do is kind of tuck these wires back in there, and it's upside down, and throw some bolts in it. So what I'm going to do is throw bolts in that, and I should be done with putting everything together then. So I'm going to throw some bolts in this real quick, and I'll be right back when I'm done with that. Alright guys, I got that all tightened down. It's nice and snug. Usually when it comes down to steering wheel hubs and stuff like that, I make sure I tighten everything really good. The last thing I want to do is be going down the highway 65 miles an hour and something comes loose, because these bolts, I have solid motor mounts and everything like that, so the car does vibrate a good amount, and there is always a possibility where, you know, good vibration will fucking definitely loosen up some bolts. So basically that's what we got here. We got the hub, the short hub, we got the quick release. I guess you would call that, what, the receiver, I guess. And then you have the other part of the quick release. You got that bolted to your steering wheel, sandwiched in between your steering wheel. So basically, in essence, when you put this onto here, like so, there we go. Nice and tight, no rattles. Let me put my key in so I can turn the wheel, because the steering wheel lock is on right now. Hold on 1 second. It's nice and tight. And then essentially when you want to take it off, you're just going to want to squeeze that, just like that. You see it opening. Squeeze that, pull it right off. Now, there's another part to this, and this is the NRG steering wheel lock. Okay, basically, this is, you put this on here when you have the steering wheel off. And, you know, you take the steering wheel with you, obviously. But, you put that on there so nobody can steal your car. Let me just turn this to unlock real quick. Hold on 1 second. Alright. Now it's on the unlock position. Basically, it's labeled top. So you're going to just put that bad boy on right there. And then you're just going to spin it this way, all the way over to lock. Once you hit lock, push that in, and once that's in, you can't take it off. So unless somebody's going to drive this car, or they're going to steal it with no power steering, they're going to be holding it like this, and they're not going to really be able to turn it. So I mean, it's not 100% saying that somebody can't get it off or whatever, but you know, the keys are actually pretty weird looking. Never seen a key like that exactly before. So I mean, I think the chances of picking this lock would be not too good. But basically, to get it off, you're going to put the key in, you're just going to give it a slight little turn, and it's just going to pop out. Once it pops out, it frees up enough to where you could spin it. And my friend even told me when he sold this to me that When it's cold, it's pretty hard to turn, which I'm finding out right now that when it's cold, it's a real pain in the ass. But basically what happens is this little ball right here, when you turn this piece, there's something on the inside of here that when it gets to that lock position, it holds this ball in place. And basically the ball sticks into one of these holes here, and it'll not allow it to pull out or move or anything. And the lock, let me see if I can, hold on, spin this thing for you real quick. Ooh, it's starting to get windy. Oh my god, it's windy as shit all of a sudden. Okay, but when you hit the lock button, you see that little tab that's in there. It says 510 on it. When you hit that and you push that in, if you can see, it's starting to come up. So when you push it in, it goes up, which will not allow this back piece here to spin, or this ball. You see, I can't push that in now. So that's essentially how it works. I mean, it's not like rocket science or anything like that, but I guess, you know, it's cool if you go to a car show or whatever, you know what I mean? Because, you know, places like Honda Days, like pretty famous spot for people to get their cars stolen and steering wheels stolen and all this other nonsense. I don't really attend anything like that for that reason. But it's just a cool little thing Energy has that, you know, a lot of other companies have, but they're not decent, you know what I mean? This is heavy. I mean, like they say on Haggard Garage, I mean, I guess you rate quality on how heavy the object is. And this damn thing could kill somebody. I mean, it's really heavy. So, it's got to be good because it's really heavy. And shout out to Energy. The hub assembly and everything is really sturdy. Where's the old one? I don't even know where I put it. Oh, I threw it. This one is basically cast aluminum. It's really light, but it's strong. I beat the hell out of this thing with a good size hammer. And I mean, the worst part of it was right there on the threads. It kind of bent the threads in a little bit. But it's on one of the holes that you don't use anyways, because you use the smaller pattern that's in the center. So I mean, it's not like it hurted it or anything. But I literally ran this for the longest time. I usually run these on a lot of my cars just for the simple fact that I think I paid $10 shipped, I think, or maybe cheaper. I don't really even know. I mean, aside from the fact that they're kind of, you know, the aesthetics of it is ugly. It doesn't look cool. You know what I mean? And it's a 6-bolt, so basically you can bolt it onto any Energy. This is actually a Momo wheel, like an old style, made in Italy Momo wheel. You can put it on any 6. You can use them for any 6-bolt steering wheel, which is cool. And, you know, any steering wheel for the most part that you get from eBay or, you know, NRGs or 6-bolt. What else? Personal, Nardi. I think it's Nardi, I think, that actually has a different, slightly different pattern. But I think this accommodates that because it's got 2 separate patterns. One's a wider pattern and one's a smaller pattern. And I've noticed that the eBay wheels are the smaller pattern for the most part. And the bigger pattern might be for, like, you know, it might fit like a Nardi or, you know, whatever. But this one, it did its job. I've had it for a year and a half since I got the car, and it did its job. But I guess it's just really time for a nicer upgrade because, you know, everything else in this car is pretty much top quality, top notch. So, you know, why cheap out on something like the steering wheel, you know, when you have, I mean, literally, there's no wiggle. The only thing you hear is it rubbing on the plastic, which, you know, that'll get annoying, but I could just shave the plastic down. But, I mean, it's super easy to get on and off. Super easy to get on and off. So, I mean, overall, If anybody's looking for a really nice quick release setup, NRG seems like it's definitely the way to go. I mean, it looks nice, it's appealing, it's easy. The only thing I did do was there's a button right there. Right there was a silver button that you had to push in so you could pull this back, and I didn't like the fact that I had to do that. So basically, when you take these bolts off of the steering wheel, there's a little silver Allen key, and you take that little silver Allen key out, and basically the bolt or the button comes out, and there's a little spring that comes out behind it. So you basically take the button out, you take the spring out, and then you can put the little Allen key right back in, tighten her back up, and then you don't have to worry about pushing the button in to pull this back at all, which just makes life a lot easier for you, because I mean, if you're lazy like me, I guess it makes life a little bit easier. But also have my wideband. I finally got that all in and working. There's my volts. We're sitting at 10.7, which I guess ain't too bad considering the fact that the car's been literally sitting for a good long while. But I got the say hi to Kenny, by the way. What's up, Kenny? How you doing? But I got the wideband sensor welded into my up pipe last night. I ran out of welding wire, so that's my excuse on why it hasn't been done for how long. I actually had a guy up the street, just took him 2 minutes, took it over to him, he welded it up, boom, done. So basically, and I also got my extension for the EMS, because basically I had to have a serial adapter, or a serial to USB adapter. Serial to USB adapter for the AEM standalone. A lot of people say not to go USB to USB, which is USB from ECU to USB on the laptop. Not sure why. I'm not going to question anything on it. So I got the USB to, and that was only literally, I think, about this long. So basically the ECU I had down on the floor right over here, and when we were trying to set up a different map for it, literally you had to lay over here, and this was digging into your side. So that really got to be a pain in the ass. So I finally got the extension, the USB extension, $10 from Turkey Hill. Shout outs Turkey Hill for coming in clutch with the cheap shit. I don't mean to say cheap shit, but I don't even know if it works, to be honest with you, because I haven't brought my laptop out here to plug it up. It should work just fine. So basically, what's next? I'm gonna take my laptop to my buddy Pete's house and drop my laptop off, because it will not, for some reason, it will not allow him to, on the AEM site, it won't allow him to download the software that he needs to tune my car on his laptop. So basically, I already have the software on my laptop and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my laptop over to his house, drop it off, and just let him basically write up a map and get everything ready for to throw it on the car, and then we'll probably drive it all winter, just on basically like a street tune or whatever, because that's what we're going to do. He's going to throw a map on it, we're going to get it to run and idle right, and basically what we're going to do is take it out, drive it around. He's going to do little things here and there. We're not going for power at this time, because it's starting to get cold. It snows, this car will be kind of useless anyways. So basically what we're going to do is just throw a street tune on it. It's just enough to get it back and forth to the store, back and forth to work, whatever. And that'll be that for the winter. Also, if anybody was wondering, a little update on the Sunroof delete. It's doing great. I haven't put any sealer on it. Basically what I did is I truck bed lined underneath here, and that sealed it up from inside, which is cool. I haven't had no wet drips, nothing. Everything's good. And I also truck bed lined the roof, which sealed it up from the top, and it matches the hood because the hood is truck bed lined. Yes, I know, 300. Yes, everybody. Everybody always got something to say about the 300, so shout outs 300, shout outs. Look at that swag, look at that. Look at that, boys, big time. Let's pull these hood pins real quick. Alright, right there's where I got my wideband at. I know some people are going to say, oh, it's too close to the turbo, I'm too close to the turbo. Well, you know what? Everybody that I've seen that has an up pipe, for the most part, they're pretty close, just like that one. I don't care if it blows out, if it burns it out, you know what I mean? I'm not running E85, so, you know, it should be decent for a while. I'm actually going to notch out the plastic right here on the H22 valve cover. I'm going to notch that out right under there, and I'm going to tuck it right under there, fix the wires. This is the old O2 sensor with the old wiring and everything that goes straight back to the EMS, which I can now delete. I don't need that anymore because, you know, wideband. I still got to make a bracket for my Gretty thing, and then we should be done. So that's all for today, fellas.